Good evening, everyone. Arthur here from Footwork Podiatric Laboratory, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Live. Sorry about the delayed start. We've had some technical issues. Best things in life, things always go haywire. But we're up and running. Today's episode is going to be mainly about some housekeeping issues, and because we've introduced a lot of new modifications, new technology, new portal, and we are having some issues in communicating. Some podiatrists are having trouble understanding and so forth. So we'll just go through a number of those. Another thing that we're going to go over today is a couple of new arch fill techniques which we've introduced over the last 12 months. Mainly the as-is arch fill technique, as-is at 0, 2 differences, as well as the optional CB modifications. We are getting a lot of requests about the explanation of what they are to show you how they look, when to use them, and how they function. So we'll go over that today. So keep your eyes peeled. You can, of course, access all our videos via our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search in the search engine for Footwork Podiatric Laboratory. Look under videos and we're there. Subscribe to it. You'll get updates every time we upload new videos. And as we go forward, we'll be doing more and more. We'd also like to get some nominations from you, some help to what you want to see. So by all means, like us, follow us, and tell us what you want. We'll be more than happy to talk about it. So some housekeeping issues. We introduced some new Joey styles. We mentioned we're developing some new Joey styles in our last video. Unfortunately, we did have some problems, again, technical issues, a bit like today, with our software and 3D printing. We've had to put things on hold for a little while. It is very frustrating for us. We know what we want. We know what you guys want as podiatrists. Unfortunately, we can't yet deliver due to circumstances beyond our control. So the new Joey styles aren't available yet. We are hoping we will have something in the next 3 to 4 weeks, if not sooner. But keep your eye out and we'll definitely let you know when they are. So that would be the Joey Original Plus, as well as the new Joey style, which we had a competition. And congratulations to those 3 winners who helped us in the design. And thank you for all those people who participated in the competition. There's also, talking about Joeys, there is a new Joey prescription form, which you can download from our website. So simply go into customer support page and there are downloads and there's a new Joey prescription form. What we are trying to do is, because of the issue with faxing, and we are working on an app version for the Joeys, which will eliminate that. But as you fax a page, inevitably, a lot of times it will shrink. Also, if you save the prescription form to a PDF file on your computer, there is a chance it will shrink. So if you do that and you go to print it, please print original because they do shrink. In order to help us with that issue, we have now put in on the new prescription form a measurement section where you actually specify how long you want the Joey to be. There's a Joey's prescription video which explains how to do that. And again, we'll put a link to this page on the video once it's uploaded to YouTube. That video is available on YouTube. Okay. Going to online prescriptions, our new portal is up and running, and a lot of podiatrists, well over 80% now, are using the new portal. Even those podiatrists who don't have scanners are welcome to use that portal. So if you don't have a scanner, you want to use a portal, and we encourage you to do so because we get much better tracking of the jobs. There's far more options to on the portal. There are help videos, so if you're not confident about prescribing, you're not sure what anything is, there are help videos which describe pretty much all the sections. If you would like to use the new portal or have a go at it, just contact us here at Footwork and we will set you up. It only takes a couple of minutes. With scanning, so the new iPad scanners, base scanners, are fantastic. The new update that was released earlier in the year made them far easier to use and far more accurate. We are getting some questions from podiatrists that there are issues where they can't open the app. So a couple of things. Number one, make sure your iPad or your iOS device has got the latest iOS update. Okay? Being software, we need to keep everything updated as much as possible. If you update that, you then still need to update your application or your app for scanning. So go into your app store and just select automatic updates and your apps will be updated automatically. You do that, you will not have any issues. Going back to the portal, we are having a number of issues where podiatrists don't check the scripts properly. There is a double check mechanism where we've actually put in 2 steps which ask you, have you checked your prescription? And what we are finding, we're getting requests 2 or 3 days later where podiatrist says, oh, I've made a mistake, can I change this, can I change that? It throws a spanner into our production, and we are getting a large number of those every day, which really sets us behind in production and creates a lot of hassle. So help us out, double check your prescription when there's a review page and utilize that function properly. Now, something a little bit more exciting, you would have noticed we've advertised a new internship position. Our current intern, Jess, has loved the job. Hi, Jess, if you're watching. But however, she now needs to go and practice a little bit more. She will still spend a couple of days, I think actually 3 days with us and working 2 days in the practice, and she was doing 1 day up to now. She loves us so much, she wants to spend more time with us. However, we have a position now for a new intern, a first-year graduate, for 3 days a week to be working with us alongside with Jess, Lewis and myself, as well as the other 3 podiatrists that we have working here at Footwork. So the application is all over social media. Follow the links, and we look forward to hearing from you if you're interested in learning about orthotics, see how they're prescribed, see how we operate, and making you a better prescriber and a better new podiatrist. Last of all, housekeeping, massive sporting event coming up on this weekend, a World Championship of Triathlon at Kona in Hawaii. Good luck to all our friends who are participating, to all those athletes who are wearing our Footwork product, all the best, and to all podiatrists that we know that are competing, good luck guys, and you'll smash it and you will enjoy it. Okay, so now let's go into more technical stuff, talking about the CB modification, the 2 new arch fill techniques, which is an as-is and an as-is at 0. So we've prepared a little bit of a drawing in here today, so we'll go the old-fashioned way. I was hoping to actually do this on the new CAD software, but because it's slightly still behind, we're going to resort to good old Mr. Squiggle technique, okay? So we'll start off with our basic mid-arch fill technique. Our mid-arch fill technique, which is our most common technique up till now, gives you great calc inclination angle, follows the calc inclination. High point reaches a talonavicular region, or about 1/3 of the arch, and then tapers down to the first MTPJ, allowing plantar flexion of the first tray. So the high point and contact is all through this region. Okay, that's our mid-arch fill technique, and goes at about 90% of the height of the arch, around 3 millimeters off. That's our standard arch height. If you want 100%, you request under arch fill option minimum, and if you want 80% or slightly lower, for whatever reason, you would request a maximum arch fill option. We then have a modified root arch fill technique, which the arch height is offset slightly more distally. Okay. It supports a 4-foot supinatus or a slight 4-foot varus deformity. It does not allow first tray function. So if you want first tray function, you do not ask for a modified root on our prescription form. You'd go more for a mid-arch fill technique. And you all know, as well as that, you know our mid-modified root combination, which is a hybrid of those. So it follows a little bit longer into the arch, but then tapers down a little bit more to a bit archier, still allows first tray function, not quite as much calc inclination support. So working with podiatrists all over the world, we've come up with modifications which will have to a little bit more to what they are used to. So one of the arch fill techniques that we've come up with is an as-is. So an as-is arch fill technique, simply as the name states, we follow the arch shape exactly as it is. Okay, so that is an as-is arch fill technique. The same as with our previous arch fill techniques, such as a mid-modified root or a modified root. We give you 90% of the height of the arch, and then as we increase the refoot correction, the arch height will increase because we twist the device. Rule of thumb is 0.5 millimeter of arch height increase for every degree that we invert the refoot. And as is at 0 is the same, we follow the contour replicated on the scan or the cast or whatever modality you might utilize. However, as we increase the refoot correction, and you can go 2, 3, 4, 10, 15 degrees, the arch height does not change. So that is as is at 0. The arch remains as it was with refoot 0, which we balance every cast, every scan to refoot 0, and that's how we get our arch height. And then as you increase the refoot correction, the arch height remains the same. So that is an as is at 0. Now with a CB, there is a great video that we've been using for a couple of years. Lewis has been showing it on a number of his workshops, and it was recently posted, I think, by Kevin Kirby, which shows how the subtalar joint pronates. So the triplanar motion of the subtalar joint is plantar flexion, abduction, and eversion. And the first movement, so if we look at the subtalar joint, for a neutral foot, your calc inclination angle is at around 45 degrees. And the video shows that the first movement is actually plantar flexion of the calcaneus, also movement in the sagittal plane. That is more to do with a neutral to slightly higher arched foot. So instead of gaining refoot correction via inversion, which is a less than 1/3 component of that foot, of that type of a foot, we actually want to gain more control through here. Okay, that's increasing the calc inclination angle of placing support on it so it doesn't plantar flex the first movement. In the past, we would utilize a triplanar heel shave and we just flatten that spot out. But recently we started using a modification called CB. And with a CB, I'll use my red pen, not my fingers. With a CB, we'll literally push the arch back, we stretch it out and push it into the heel, giving us a much bigger surface area where we can pull into the calcaneus and thus support it. With that, we get great refoot correction of the subtalar joint via supporting of the calc inclination angle, and we are not inverting it, which means we are not lifting the heel out of the shoe. We're actually pushing the heel back into the lower part of the shoe. So you get better shoe fit, less slippage, and we get the calc inclination angle support, which is with a neutral to slightly higher arched foot, which was what we're aiming for. This modification works really well with a neutral to higher arched foot that is flexible. So you will still end up with some collapse through the mid-arch or the talonavicular region. And to eliminate any possible, if you have that foot that will actually collapse, eliminate any possible irritation in the arch, we can actually make the arch thinner for you. So you can request for the arch to be thinned out in relation to the rest of the shell. So what you end up getting is great calc inclination support, great refoot correction, and you only need to increase the refoot correction to 3, 4, 5 degrees at most, because most of the correction is coming through the calc inclination angle. And you can then get it thinned out, so you get allowing the foot to collapse and pronate, but also as the foot collapses, the orthotic will then spring back through heel lift, thus returning the energy back to the foot and aiding resupination. So one, we are supporting the calcaneus and the subtalar joint. We are allowing the foot to pronate. The foot still needs to pronate, but we are reducing the rate of pronation and then returning the energy back to the foot. And it's a device that in the past, when we've used inverted devices, it's worked well to control overpronation, but the foot in the shoe looked kind of contorted and twisted, whereas with these, it's a much straighter looking foot. And we're getting a lot of success from podiatrists who have been using that modification. Again, neutral to slightly higher arched foot that is more on the mobile side, which in the past have been very difficult to control. One big no-no or contraindication, plantar heel pain. We are placing pressure right on that spot. Now, there is a handful of podiatrists, there is a number of podiatrists who will still utilize it for plantar heel pain with the aid of a sweet spot. So we actually offload it with a sweet spot at the plantar insertion and having great support. But please be aware that we would probably recommend not to use it, just like with a medial heel scarf and a triplanar heel shave. We will not recommend to use that modification with severe plantar heel pain. You can still use a triplanar heel shave, which will add even more correction to that. So somebody who's, for example, a runner or an athlete where you want a lot of refoot correction and really push that calc inclination angle up, you can definitely use a CB with a triplanar heel shave. And a CB works best, we found, with an as-is arch fill technique. So you're spreading the weight through the foot. If you then want to promote further plantar flexion of the first ray, you'll ask for a first-rate accommodation. Not a cutout, because that will make the orthotic rock, but a first-rate accommodation. So in actual fact, what we are doing is moving. That's the original shape of the orthotic, and that's the new shape of the orthotic. So we are literally moving the medial side of the orthotic further back into the foot, allowing plantar flexion of the first ray, supporting the mid-calc, supporting the calc inclination angle. If you have any further questions about this, we'll be posting some more videos. We'll be adding a video to the one that shows the subtalar joint pronation. We'll be adding that to our YouTube version of this video, so keep an eye out. If you have any questions, please post them online. If you have any suggestions of what you would like to hear about and so forth, please let us know. Another thing, we have a small number of spaces still available for a couple of our workshops coming up this year. We'll have one coming up in Geelong in the next few weeks. If you would like to attend that, there will be another link posted via our social media over the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. And also, we do run a number of advanced workshops. This is for podiatrists who have been dealing with us for a number of years or a period of time, where we actually utilize our software and we design in front of them. That workshop is designed for a small group, no more than 12, and it works very well. We are running one, I think it's on the 16th of November, somewhere around the city. The venue is yet to be advised. We have a number of spots available for that still, and they go like hotcakes. So if you would like to attend, if you've attended our initial workshop, then you're more than welcome to attend one of our advanced ones. An advanced workshop is not recommended for somebody who's new to us, somebody who has never attended an initial workshop. Okay, so again, for the advanced workshop, just contact us here at the office, call the office, or send an email to info@footwork.com.au and just say that you'd like to attend one of the advanced workshops. If this one gets booked out, we'll put your name down onto the list for the next one. Again, CB modification increases calc inclination angle, spread the rest of the weight through the foot, reduce the thickness of the arch of the orthotic, allowing still some pronation, and then return the energy back to the foot. Any questions, let us know, and we'll see you next time.